Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're looking live at Jones Hour. I'm Mandy Jones, the comedian, and as always with me is my husband,
Glen. How y'all doing?
You actually made it.
Yeah,
I always just say that you're here in spirit, like you're dead.
Well, sometimes I am actually physically in the building. It's just a matter of whether I'm coming in once it started.
Yeah, I'm kind of thrown for a loop. Sorry, guys, I have no energy tonight. We're gonna bring on someone who is way better than me. This is the 34th episode of this show. It's April 30th. It's my brother's 18th birthday. If you found the show, please share the show, share the show, share the show. And you should subscribe to Mandy Jones, the comedian on YouTube. That's free. Hey, Dave Lange. Happy Friday. Oh, this is still saying the Wildflowers, which is wrong. It's not the Wildflowers. This is the Calamity Jones Hour. You got anything to say to Glenn, to these people?
Not really.
You see anything crazy that you forgot to tell me about?
I didn't forget to tell you about this one though. This got divulged at dinner, but the one guy at work was picking up a truck. So he leaves his truck and walks through the building to pick up another truck and drives around the building, and there's someone sitting in the driver's seat of his truck. So he pulls up behind it, and sure enough, the guy's running his glove box and shit. So he just grabs the guy and empties his pockets and gets all his shit back. And he's like, I actually feel bad. The sunglasses weren't mine, so I robbed a crackhead's sunglasses. But he's everything else was. And he dropped the guy's crack pipe. The guy was why'd you have to break it, man? And then let the guy run off. But there's always stories of our parking lot at work. We have a shady motel shares our parking lot. So you really can't come up with the diversity of random crazy shit that comes through there, honestly. But yeah, I guess that was my crazy story of the week. You always ask, I normally don't tell Mandy this stuff, and she's like, oh, what happened? I was like, oh yeah, they were dangling him off the second floor balcony,
All right, let's bring the guests on because we're not supposed to talk to the guests when they're not on screen. So without further ado,
see, I'm not the professional here. I'm just
my friend, and now yours, Mr. Nigel Fullerton.
Hey! I wanted to talk about that story so much, and I was like, wait, let them, tell me. So, why, if you know your parking lot is, attracts crackheads, why are you leaving your doors open?
Yeah, and
it's one of those things is, our warehouse is it's a bunch of 12, 14-foot wide roll-up doors. And there's a shitload of our people around. You kind of have a certain amount of safety when you feel like you have 50 people around and know that's your truck.
Except for when the crackhead comes.
Just hops in. And, we've had people just walk in our building and just take a whole stack of aluminum and walk out.
No in The Wire?
no truck. Just walked away with it.
And what happened to them?
They got away.
Multiple offenders. It just happened.
I find this hilarious.
Yeah,
once every 4 weeks, it turns into a brothel though.
Back to Nigel.
There's a brothel there too.
Yeah.
This is more important than me because there's brothels happening in his parking lot.
15 minutes from here, guys.
Yeah.
Can't hear you
Copeg.
from here. Oh, okay.
It's in Copeg. Okay.
She's like, I can't hear you, and I'm starting to think it's the mic, and now she's in the.
No, she's saying she's
So Nigel, you're a big time actor.
Some people might say that.
Tell us. We saw you.
We watched. What's it? Roxanne.
Was it Prime?
It was Netflix.
It was Netflix. It was a Netflix original.
It's Roxanne, which is based on a true story now.
Yes.
I really enjoyed it too. It's very much like the docu. I felt like I was watching a documentary that was dramatized.
Well, nobody knew her story. Let's be real. I mean, she's a very lovely woman. Her time in music was very short. For the time that she was popular was a good couple years, but a lot of people don't know her story. And a lot of people don't know what happened in the background of what was going on. So I knew a couple songs, but I didn't know her whole story.
I hadn't known it. I didn't know any of it until I saw the movie. And now you play Biz Markie. Did you were you a fan of his before you saw the movie? Did you become a fan, like, acting for him? Or did you read stuff that you're like, oh, that's not me? Like, how was it getting into play a character that's a real person?
It was cool, and it was kind of like weird because 9 times out of 10 when you see a biopic, like it's based off somebody that's dead. Okay? Right. And they're like, oh, they did a great job. Or, oh, like when you have to play somebody living, it's kind of weird. They're like, yeah, they didn't look or sound like this guy, or you know.
So did you meet Biz Markie?
I met Biz Markie years ago.
But not since the movie.
I met him after the movie. Okay. And you know, he was joking around. He's like, yo, I didn't even know I was in the movie. like I know he knew he was in the movie. Like, you know, he watched the movie. But yeah, it was a great experience. It was like good for me because I met a lot of people that are like lifelong friends now. Like a lot of people that was their first movie. The woman that played Roxanne Shante, she that was her very first movie. She's gone on to do big things, and a lot of other people in that movie got going on to do big things. And now I'm here in your living room.
Not doing big things. Clearly.
Yeah.
Oh no. Now in that movie, they're singing. Can you sing? Did you sing any of the stuff in that movie?
Well, no, I beatboxed in that.
Oh, so you really did. So now you pre-recorded and then act over it, or you?
No, I was on the microphone, beatboxing into the microphone.
Oh, okay.
However, I don't think they used any of my vocals, but that was me beatboxing my heart out. Like I even put out a little video like afterwards and said, hey, you know, Nigel was beatboxing his heart out. Like somebody else, one of my cast members said it. And they were like, yeah, he was beatboxing his heart out. And we were like, Nigel, you know this is a pre-recorded track. Like you don't have to, like this is lip sync. I was like, nah, like no, I have to, this has to be real.
To make it look real, I feel like you almost need to.
I know, yeah. Like
you can't who wants to beatboxing.
Who lip sings beatboxing? Like, come on. Like even if you're bad at it, like you don't lip sing to beatboxing. It doesn't happen.
Mom spaghetti.
Mom spaghetti. That's what we were doing. We're just cutting our raps in Queensbridge. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. All right. So, what was your first acting gig? How do you even get onto a movie?
My first acting gig was a commercial.
Okay. For what?
My very first acting gig was a spec commercial for Optimal.
Okay.
And it was like a baseball commercial. It's the weirdest commercial in the world. And then I think that was in 2010. My second commercial was in 2011 for ESPN. And it was basically like sports fans and stuff like that. And like during that time, I was taking classes at Upright Citizens Brigade. I was doing improv and stuff like that. And then I started getting more commercials. So from that came another commercial that I had in 2012 for Affinity Health Plan. Then I got on to Jimmy Kimmel doing a sketch with Alicia Keys. And then I did a sketch for Comedy Central, which it was a promo for the movie The Guilt Trip. And all of this stuff happened like around the same time. So like it's kind of fuzzy, like 2011 through 2013. Like there was like several commercials that I did. I don't even remember half of the things that I did. But yeah, I've done like over 15 commercials in the past couple of years. So like, you know, you'll always see me like in a commercial, and I normally have speaking roles. So it's never like, I don't do background. I mean, not to knock anybody that does background, but I'm not the type of guy that like sticks in it. Like if you see me, like if you see me in background of something, you're like, yeah, that's Nigel. Like you can't, like I can't fade in with everybody else, you know?
The guy who seconds that motion, that's Nigel.
You know?
Yeah, me too. What's the worst job you ever had?
Worst job I ever had? The one I have currently. My worst job. I worked at a library. It was one of my first jobs. Like I was a camp counselor, library, and then I worked at Adventureland. Now, in retrospect, Adventureland was cool, but
oh shit, that's on 110.
Yeah, yeah. In retrospect, Adventureland was cool. The library, I hated. The reason why I hated it was because the floors would creak. And libraries are supposed to be silent. So every time I would walk around and do like the whole Dewey Decimal System and putting this stuff in different places, like I would like walk around and all you hear a crrr, crrr, and then people are like studying, they're reading books, and I just sound like the monster under Kevin Arnold's bed. Like,
Sorry, we're trying to study in here.
Yeah, like it was just horrible.
Do you remember the Lori Beth Dinberg?
I don't know what that is.
Vital information?
No, but wasn't she also the librarian where she was it Lori Beth who would yell at people? She'd be like, "Quiet! This is a library," and she would always have like a megaphone.
I feel like I've seen that parodied, but I didn't know like
it
the
was
original.
the All That, which was like the Nickelodeon
Oh, okay,
SNL,
all right,
but
no, all right.
she'd be like, jackhammering. She'd be like, "Quiet! This is a library."
No, I totally remember. No.
I remember a little bit of it. It's very fuzzy.
I'm trying to remember if she was the person that was in that.
No, she was.
It was her.
It
right?
was her.
Yeah. I don't know what randomly made.
I just remember Vital Information from Lori Beth Dinberg.
Yeah, that was always that was like weird. She would have like there would be like some adult humor in that.
Well, that's because adults were writing that. Like when you have Neil Brennan writing all that.
Wait, is he the one about with the feet?
No, he wasn't the one with the feet. It was Neil Brennan was writing, and some of the guys from the what's it called? What's that class? Head of the Class.
Oh, I don't know that.
So it's like an 80s sitcom that had Rain Pryor was in it, and what's her name? Robin Gibbons was in it. Those were the two like big stars. So these guys from Head of the Class, once that ended, like I think like in 91 or something like that, they went and started writing all that.
Okay.
Now those two guys are pedophiles, but
they were just kids when they started writing the show, and now they grew up in our
for
life.
sure, like
yes,
arrested for it.
Yes.
Well, how do we not like? I don't.
Well,
I guess I live under a rock.
Well, the one is coming all out that Amanda Bynes is in a very similar situation to Britney Spears, where she's all fucked up and doesn't have rights to her shit, and they're just like, "Oh, she's fucking crazy," but like,
no, Amanda Bynes is crazy. she tweeted that she wanted Drake to murder her pussy. I remember this. How do we just sweep this stuff under the rug?
Yeah.
She said, "I want Drake to murder my pussy."
But she shot her. She shot her shot.
She shot her shot, and Drake was just like. Drake was like,
no.
I gotta get a lineup.
Yeah, that's wild. Maybe if you had some more money, no more. Oh my lord, I hadn't heard about that. Are you tweeting? Are you on Twitter?
I used to tweet. I got tired of Twitter once Instagram came.
Okay.
So I'm more of an Instagrammer than a tweeter. Like 2008, you would catch me. 2008 to 2012, I was tweeting my heart out. I was like, yeah. But then nobody was like responding. I felt like if a tweet goes in the woods and nobody's around, doesn't make a sound. And that's how I felt. Like I was like, this is stupid. Why is Colin Kayan always on my feed?
Yeah, I go on Twitter every once in a while, and I'm like, oh, this is like I guess it's like a graveyard that I gotta clean up at some point, and then I just jump off of it onto it.
But I feel like a lot of like, I don't even have a Twitter. Like I feel like if you did like a survey, a lot of like people we know, like maybe half of them do.
Yeah, I mean, like everyone's got Facebook, but then like you said, Instagram. Not everyone's got Instagram.
And
not
Instagram, you're not limited
Twitter.
to the amount of people you can have.
That's what's good.
Well, I feel like Facebook's for old people, so
yeah. Well, Facebook's good for events. Mandy, you look so gorgeous. Thank you, Robin. All right. Glenn, you have any questions before I keep harassing this man?
I had one, but I forgot. Like, keep going. Like, maybe I should have a piece of paper.
Cool. What else you got for me? I'm an open book, ladies and gentlemen. I know you guys don't know me. Hi, my name is Nigel. Nice to meet you.
Oh, actually, I do have questions.
Sure.
So, like,
where were you on the night of
did you go, like, when you went to go do, like, the feature-length movie, the Roxanne, you interviewed for that? Like, did they have you, did they give you a full script and then you do a scene? Or, like, how did you interview for it?
Mostly the scene that I did was the scene that, like, right before the concert scene. Like, it was mostly that. Like, you know, I read that, and I was like, okay. It was a series of auditions. I think I went to 2 auditions, and the director, I felt like, didn't like me. I was like, he doesn't like me. So my second audition, I came in with I went to the costume jewelry store.
Okay.
And I bought a rope chain.
All right.
And I went and I just beatboxed my heart out.
Yeah.
Like, he wanted to see if I could beatbox. He wanted to see how good I was beatboxing and stuff like that. Like, so I kept doing that. And then, I got it. Ironically, I thought I was getting a commercial for like Fox Sports.
So when they didn't even tell you what the movie was, really?
No, they told me what it was.
Well, they never. You were Biz Marquee, though.
They never. So like, I've auditioned for several movies, right?
All right.
9 times out of 10, I don't get them. Like, I catch them and whatever, but they don't ever tell you exactly what they tell you what the movie is. They tell you what it's, but you don't know what the script is. They give you these things that are called sides, right?
Okay,
so like
a chapter of it.
It's not a chapter. It could be changed. It could be not be, but it's like a couple pages of what dialogue that you're supposed to say. So like, for instance, like, it's not a secret. Like, I auditioned for a Bad Trip. Okay. Right? The movie that came out with Eric Andre and Lil Rel, and I auditioned for that. I had no clue what this movie was. Like, I had nothing. I just knew it was something about a car, and we're taking our car cross country from wherever we are to New York. And I have the self-tape and everything. Like, it's me. First I had to read the script, then I had to like improv some stuff, and I was like, I don't know what this is, but this sounds stupid. And I auditioned for it like back in 2017, where I was like, I'm surprised the movie even came out.
Honestly, when I like watched the like synopsis, I was like, this looks kind of dumb. But then I watched it and I was like, it's kind of funny. I really wondered
certain parts I give him credit, and certain parts I'm just like.
But the stuff that seems like there is like what do they call that? Candid. Some of it's like, I don't know if you could even do this legally. How is everyone not calling 911? Like, you know what I mean? Because my reaction,
okay, I'll tell you why. You ready for this? Black people don't call the cops.
Well, that's the thing. I'm like, this is the hood. Nobody's calling the cops.
Black people don't call the cops.
But I'm just saying.
But the one lady,
when the car accident,
when the lady's like gonna jump off the bridge, they're all just fucking like, yo, like,
no, the cops came for the car accident.
They did.
There was people there for the car accident, but
because that seemed wild that no one would call an ambulance because it's like that thing just flipped and shit. Like,
but everything else, like when you see a monkey humping another dude, you're not gonna call the cops for that. Like,
no, that was funny though.
They're like.
The car accident was the main one that I questioned. Like, yo, like, this.
But there was people 911,
there. Like, I don't care about cops. I care about fucking getting people in ambulances. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you fucked up if you roll.
They're not gonna call a cop. Like, why? Like, they'd be like, oh, somebody got it. Okay, cool. As long as somebody got it, somebody was there to like help it out.
It's true. The like group, like our gang mentality. Like, someone's on it. Like, that's not my problem right now.
But it's the same reason that like 30 people will sit in a room with smoke piped in, and we'll all sit there until one person does something about it. Like,
Evening, Bruno. Saying hello to us beautiful people.
Somebody said hi, Nigel. Who's that?
That's Robin DeVito.
Yeah, hey. Robin, David. They're all saying hi to you.
Yeah, Bonnie
hey, what's happening, people?
Oh, Bonnie's in here?
Yeah, Bonnie said hello.
What's happening?
Bonnie. All right, Nigel.
What else?
What's your favorite thing to wear?
My favorite thing to wear?
You're always styling.
I'm not always styling.
Yeah, you are. You got some fresh kicks on right now.
Yeah.
I won't lead the witness. You tell me.
What's my favorite thing to wear? I like to wear polo a lot. And like, I'm not like one of those quote unquote low heads, the polo guys
with
the
low head.
It's somebody that wears a lot of polo.
Fashion,
okay.
Yeah, somebody wears a lot of Ralph Lauren, not the U.S. polo. This is Ralph Lauren. Yeah. So if you have a little horse or something like that, like I like to wear a lot of Ralph Lauren. So like you'll see me I like button-up shirts a lot.
Okay.
So you'll see me mostly in that. Like I took off a button-up shirt just so I can come here.
Ooh.
I dig the polo stuff too. Anything that's not a solid color.
Yeah.
Because they don't really do a lot of things that aren't a solid color. So
they do solid colors, but it's so plain.
That's what I mean. Yeah. I like anything they do that's got a flashy pattern on it. Yep. I usually like. That's my jam.
Yeah. So a lot of flannels.
I won't do flannel though. No. I have a few that are like, the one is like that patchwork thing. I got that paisley.
Yeah.
Yeah, Glen likes the like super like floral.
Loud.
Like, yeah.
Oh, I had a
Loud.
floral one too. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
very loud. Yeah.
Well, did you see now that they're having like the white supremacists? They were like, oh, if
What?
you're like into white, they're like all the white supremacists were wearing the like,
Don't take. It's just like the tiki torches.
They
Don't
were
tell me
wearing-
something I
they
can't
were
do
wearing
now. Like all of a sudden,
they
I'm
were
like,
wearing
You
the
can't
Hawaiian-
have tiki torches,
No, they
man.
said Hawaii. They said wear a Hawaiian shirt. Glenn was like, "Oh, what are all the fucking fat white guys gonna wear?"
like that. All the fat guys are
Hey,
racist.
man.
They
all
got
the fat
the-
white guys that are like, "Oh fuck."
I
we're
never
gonna-
thought about it like that, but if you look like you dress from J. Crew, I mean, I do
If
question.
you fit the profile.
No, but I
yeah,
would never
Hawaiian
think white
shirt.
supremacists. I would think frat, and then I'll be like, I'm staying.
Okay,
the hell,
so Chad,
I'm-
but that's like the same thing.
I'm
Chad's
still-
white supremacist.
I'm staying the hell away from you regardless. Whether you're a white supremacist or a frat guy, like I'm at the age where I don't want to hang out with anybody young.
Yeah, no, me neither.
Me neither.
I'm
just like,
I don't know
can't.
how much I can learn from anybody younger than me. Unless they're like really fucking smart or
Yeah.
like far ahead in life or
I
something.
I don't know
Yeah,
how my sister,
old
who's
they
like
are.
4 years older than us, like I was in college and she would come visit me. I'm like, I don't know how she'd do that. Like,
Well, we did
I
St.
can't hang out
Patrick's Day in my little brother's
yeah, and I
college.
was like, I need to get the
And
fuck
we were
out
like,
of
yep.
here. I was like,
I
I'm
didn't
too
realize
old.
how like different it was. I thought we were just gonna be able to go to St. Patty's Day
Oh, no.
party, drink some
Oh, no,
beers,
it's not
like
the
not
same.
be like, who the fuck are the old people? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
No, this was like 2 or 3 years ago too. We were
We
younger,
weren't that
but
old,
still.
like-
But I was like, I am too old for this shit.
Yeah.
There comes a point in time where you're like, you know what? I don't think I understand what you guys are going through. I don't identify with your music. I don't know what to how to talk to you, what the new slang is.
There's so much new crap, new music that I am like, I don't know.
I still try, but I
try.
make the effort. I do not like the music, but I make the effort to say I know what this is.
Okay.
You know, I don't want to be my mother saying, "Who are these people dancing on my TV?"
Yeah, and then you gotta at least give it a chance too, because there's definitely been some electronic stuff and like different things. At first, you turned it on for 5 seconds, I'm like, fuck that, and then like someone starts singing or something, I'm like, oh, okay, like.
Do you think you're better off alone? That's the song that plays every time I used to go to the Crazy Donkey.
Oh my lord. Crazy donkey.
I don't know if I know that. Where is that?
Oh, it's defunct now. It's a PDQ.
Okay.
on
Oh
110.
no, I'm thinking of What's the
It's
other
Buffalo
one?
Wild Wings actually now.
There's a crazy. It was the Crazy Donkey.
Mm-hmm.
They used to have like hardcore shows there every
Yeah.
once in a while.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, where?
Yeah, that's what Farmingdale.
Yeah, it was right
Yeah.
on 110. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Talk to me. Let's
So
stick
what-
the song in my head.
So like, if you're gonna put on music, like,
What would
are
I
you gonna
put on?
pick? Like, what artist or like genre?
I'm weird because like I listen to a lot of stuff, but I don't know what the hell. I don't know who sings it. I don't like. I'm just like I know the song now. If it's hip hop, like of course I'm gonna know what year it came out, when it came out. But if it's something other than that, I'd be like, I know this song.
So then what about like some new hip hop? Like you're gonna listen to something.
Oh, if
from
I was
this
gonna
year.
listen, if I was gonna listen to new hip hop,
Yeah,
oh shit,
it's harder, right?
Griselda, Benny,
Okay.
anything with Benny,
Benny
the Butcher,
yeah.
But like for me, like for instance, I was telling you, like I'm good friends with Mark Mendoza from Twisted Sister,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll sit there with him, and I'm just singing songs out of my head, and I always go, I want to rock, and he goes rock, and I'm not noticing that he made this song. Like it never clicks in my head that I'm singing the song that this guy made.
That's almost like collective consciousness. So like,
Yeah.
it's like you know the song, and then
I'm-
you're with the dude,
I'm
and
like-
it's like, I want to rock.
I'm like, wow, you know this song too? It's like these guys are pretty good. Like so, like I like a whole different like genres of music, whether it be like I've been to hardcore shows. Like I don't know who the hell is singing, but I do like I remember I used to like Marilyn Manson and Beautiful People. Like I remember I used to like rock out to like, give me fuel, give me fire, give me that one. See, I don't know who sings the song, but I think that's
Yeah.
Metallica.
Yeah, I think that was. Yeah.
But see, like it's different. Or like I'll sit there and sing Hall & Oates out of nowhere. I have like if I hear a song, whether it be on TV or in movies, I'm more of a movie guy.
Yeah.
So like when that stuff is playing, like I'll adapt to it like a sponge, and I'll remember all the stuff. Rage Against the Machine, I love. Like I'm eclectic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to switch it up too. I was like,
Yeah, I don't like the same thing, but now I listen to other people talk. Like I feel like I turned this like I used to hate when my grandfather would listen to 10 Wins. And then, like, and I'll be like, oh, why do we gotta listen to this? Now, all I do is listen to people talk. Like, you guys right now, you're listening to people talk. There's no music. And it's entertaining. Why? This wasn't entertaining. You know why? Because we're getting old.
Yeah, I got a refrigerator for my birthday.
See? I get excited when I get socks and underwear now. I'm like, please, do not get me anything. Do not get me the newest video game system. I want some socks and drawers.
Now, can you wear sneakers without socks?
No.
Yeah, that's a
That should be a
serious
crime,
question.
right?
We've been talking.
Yeah.
Everybody, like more than half the people said that they could do it and do it.
It depends on who you speak to.
What do you mean?
It depends on who you speak to. I feel like there's a certain class of people that wear sneakers with no socks.
Yeah.
And their sneakers probably stink. Like they're probably the people that have to put their shoes outside when they come home.
She claims that her feet do not sweat. I'm
Who?
like, that's lies.
Who?
Robin.
Robin, you're a very lovely person. You're watching this. I will never say anything bad about you.
But come on.
Her feet do not sweat.
I feel bad for your shoes.
I'm talking about men, not women.
But women either.
They're
Women
offenders of this thing.
But women don't like socks.
Well, it's one thing if you're wearing like leather or like flats or something, but you're wearing like sneakers or boots. There's a difference.
Yeah, I think guys should always wear socks at all times, even when they're wearing sandals.
Really? You think that I can't do the sandals
he
thing?
He thinks the new
with socks.
I don't like sandals.
Socks, he hates it.
I don't like
flip-flops at all.
I don't wear flip-flops at all.
No. What if I gotta like walk? Like
what if you gotta run? What if like a dog is chasing you?
Anything.
Like you don't know this dog? Like what if there's a shootout and you got on flip-flops and now you're running and a flop comes off and then you gotta go back to go get your flop and they're still shooting? No, thank you.
I saw a kid walking down straight path in the pouring fucking rain with a nice rain jacket on and flip-flops and socks. And I was like, your feet must just be like soaked. Like you should just take your
just get some new socks.
It's the new fad.
It's a fad for sure, but I don't understand it.
Because
there was a kid in our high school that did it and everybody was like, why are you so weird doing that and lazy? Like you won't put shoes on. Like,
well, it's because, again, what happens is kids are comfortable. Kids go out in pajamas in the middle of the daytime because they don't feel like getting dressed.
That was
true.
Honestly my
I
friend
sound like
Rhonda.
Bill Cosby now.
My friend Rhonda, when she was out here with me, she came to the fucking movies with me, and she's from Queens, and she was like, "Oh my god, people from Long Island got some balls just wearing whatever out.
Trashing out here." She's like, "I can't believe how they're dressed."
She's like, "I can't believe they go out like this. Like people are like Friday night at the movies in like fucking pajamas."
So here's the thing, and I know people from Queens or from wherever.
Like,
they're like, why? They gotta understand that. Hey, these people live here. Damn it! Like it's not like I'm going from Queens to Manhattan. Like I gotta put on clothes to go. Like if I'm going on the subway, I'm not gonna be wearing pajamas.
That's a way different story though. The subway is like a whole different like.
Yeah, like if you got
my pockets around.
But like you gotta like if you're going someplace, you're gonna be out. These people are going around the corner from their house. They're like, all right, well, yeah, we'll just go to this movie.
Right, exactly. We'll just jump in the car.
They spent all their money on the tickets to get in.
Can we do movie theaters yet?
It's a Florida thing.
What, those flip-flops with socks?
Oh, I don't know. I guess so.
I think that's what they're still talking about.
Yeah.
No, kids.
It's like wearing double.
Everybody does it now. I was sitting in the
do it.
barber shop. I was just watching hair stick to this kid's white socks, brand new white socks, and I was just like, "Come on, man! Like, cover your shit up." Like
he doesn't want to. I don't wear sandals, and that's just me. I mean, I get why people don't. I feel like the men, and this is for men, that wear sandals and the socks. I feel like they have corns on the feet. I'm just being honest with you guys. The men that wear
there's-
socks with sandals have ugly feet, and they are shielding you away from their ugly feet. This is what's happening,
I
people.
never thought of that, yo.
That's what's happening.
My boy that wore the socks and sandals had corns. Like, had to have surgery
exactly,
and shit. Like, I
exactly. because now the feet are free and easy to spread. The toes can just go whack. Like, you know, so like they can just hang out and you just be who they are. And that's what it is. Men who wear socks and sandals, I know you have ugly feet, and I will not shame your ugly feet.
Yeah.
Just keep them damn things away from me.
And actually, thank you for shielding the public from your horrific food.
I have a friend that has alligator feet.
What's that?
Yeah,
like
I mean, everything is bad on his foot, and his friends think it's funny to take pictures of his feet and post them on Facebook. And I have blocked him. He is disabled from doing any of that stuff. That is violation.
So you're just gonna say he's disabled?
No,
Oh
he's not disabled. I mean, his feet look like they're disabled, but he's not
That's what I
disabled.
thought you were gonna
No, he's saying he stopped. He doesn't want to see.
I don't want to
images
see
of them making
his
fun of
feet.
him for his feet.
You disabled him. Okay?
I disabled his feet. And his Birkenstock. Jesus wore socks and sandals. Why can't we?
Jesus only had 12 friends. I keep seeing stuff about Jesus being an influencer.
He was a social influencer.
He had 12
You know how many likes he had?
Wait, 12
He had
followers.
he had 12 followers, but he had a lot of likes.
Your followers go up when you die.
Did you follow religion at all? Did you have to? Were you baptized, or did you make your confirmation or your communion?
Yeah, no, I don't. My mother is a pastor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my mother's a pastor, so like.
So you had to do that stuff.
Yeah, so yeah, we were Baptists, but like that's how I grew up. That's my foundation. I started doing like Christian comedy when I first started.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was doing Christian comedy. I was going to churches and doing all the Tyler Perry shit. Hey, how y'all doing? Hey, ooh! Like I was doing all that, like, dressing up and wearing wigs and stuff like that.
But you had some pretty good crowds for churches, though. Kind of.
I mean, yeah, it had a great audience. Like they laugh at anything. Like it was pretty easy. We got on BET like super early in my career. Like I was like 19 years old. It was my first TV gig. And it was horrible. I've told this story several times, but it wasn't a good experience. And it was like my first year in stand-up comedy also. So like my first year in stand-up comedy was pretty bad as well. Like it was worse than like, I've seen like your first year, and I've seen a couple people's first year. My first year, my first couple years in stand-up, like nobody knew I was from Long Island. Like still to this day, there are people that I know that they're like, yo, aren't you from Brooklyn?
That's what I thought. So I'm like,
I thought you were from
no.
Queens because you were friends with Johnny McDonald.
Oh, that's my homie.
Yeah, but like, I just figured you guys were like,
No.
and we ran into you together.
Yeah,
in the city.
And Wanda, Wu-Tang, yeah.
Yeah, so like, I just assume, I guess. Like,
a lot of people, I'm from Long Island. I never knew about I started stand-up in 2003. That's my first time on stage.
Okay.
That was my first time doing stand-up. What ended up happening was I did stand-up. I got on that show same year in 2003. Did horribly. We went to LA. Did horribly on the show. Came back to New York. And I got to do more stand-up before the show came out. And then once the show came out, I was like, all right, I need to figure something else out. Because everybody's watching this show. So I took off stand-up for a couple years. And then I got back into it. I was working out of school, and I was telling kids to follow their dreams. I was like, hey, I'm not following mine. So, like, I think like around 2008, 2009, one of those years, I just started getting back into stand-up, and I was just like, all right, I'm gonna go to this place, and then I'm gonna go on Long Island. And I was like, oh, they got places on Long Island? This is crazy. And I just been doing stand-up ever since.
I know. Once you get into it, you realize how much comedy is really going on. I'm like, on a Tuesday night in a random little bar is a comedy show. On a Wednesday night a random little bar is a comedy show. And
pretty much every night of the week, you could go to a show or mic or something.
You know what's funny about stand-up? Like, when you first start in stand-up, I think those are the years where you feel you have hope in your eyes. You feel like you're going to create the wheel and do a whole bunch of stuff. And like when you're in comedy for a long time, you're like, I don't want to do stand-up on a Tuesday night. Like I want to watch TV and do normal stuff.
My laundry.
Like I had a friend that did nothing but open mics for 5 years straight.
Jesus
and he would go to the
Christ.
3 o'clock mic. He would go to the 6 o'clock mic. He would go to the 10 o'clock mic, maybe even a midnight. He'd be at Creek and Cave every weekend. He kept doing it. You know what he told me? He was like, yo, I want a real job and I want to take a girl out on a date.
I want to live my life so I can write a goddamn joke. Because the jokes happen when you're out living.
When you're living. And that was my thing. Like, you know, some people it takes a short amount of time to become a success. Other people need life experience. Like, so for instance, like I used to be real good friends with Michael Che. Right? I knew Michael Che when he first started stand-up. And I watched him bubble from like, it took him 4 years. 4 years to become like what he is now. Or on the way to what he is now. You know what I mean? And I told him, I think it was like 2011 or one of those years, or 2012. And I told him, I said, yo, you know you're about to blow up. And he's like, get the fuck out of here. What are you talking about? I said, yo, I see it. We were at City College. We were hanging out that night. And there's a picture from that night also. Like, it's one of those famous pictures that we have. And I told him, I said, yo, you're about to blow up. And then the next year, he gets on The Daily Show. And then he gets on Saturday Night Live. Then he becomes a writer. And he becomes the head writer. I'm like, how does this happen? In 6 years.
Yeah, I know, and that's where it's at too, being able to write comedy, because then you could get old and ugly and still just be writing.
A lot of people did what went the UCB route, right? So they knew what they wanted to do. They focused on what they wanted, and they were like, this is what I want to do. So a lot of people had that plan. You know, for me, I didn't have a plan. My thing was, hey, I'm out of high school. I'm going to tell jokes, just like Eddie Murphy. And I'm going to go out there and just be funny because I'm naturally funny. And it worked when I was young, but then I didn't have any sense of like, I didn't know anything. Like I would tell jokes about certain things I had no clue about. Like I probably was telling jokes about sex. I didn't even have sex yet. I was 17. Like I didn't know. Like I was just writing this stuff down.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it just came with life experience. And I share my life experience with any new comic, like anything they wanted. Like I was like, listen, I made all the mistakes so you don't have to. Like this is why I'm unsuccessful.
To pave the groundwork. You always, I mean, your stuff isn't that, you're not very dirty on stage.
I'm not very dirty. I probably will say a fuck.
Yeah,
shit.
maybe some
But I
cursing.
But I never,
cursing bad.
I never really like, I'm not a dirty blue person. Like I don't like to talk politics. Like I talk about my life. I talk about what is in my universe.
Right, exactly.
You know, like, I have 9 nieces and nephews. I still do not know any of their names. Matter of fact, one of their birthdays is today. Hi, kid number 2. I know you have an older brother, but kid number 2. But yeah, I don't, you know, I'm trying to be a better person. I'm trying to be a better guy. Cause like, you know, the rep for guys is pretty bad nowadays. Like, you know, guys get a really bad rap and we deserve it. But we need some PR. Like we need somebody to go. But I mean, we need somebody to fix up all the bad stuff that we've done, all the misogyny and stuff like that, muting people and telling women to shut up. Like we need to like, hey, listen, I'm sorry. I apologize. Like we need to do something like that.
Aw, I don't think you guys are that bad.
Well, you say that because he's there. I'm talking about the other guys.
I'm talking about
We're not talking about the guys we know. We're talking about the guys.
Just
the guys we don't know.
Toxic masculinity.
Toxic masculinity.
Oh man, I'll let you guys talk about that because I shouldn't be talking about that.
Should we go like play some one-on-one or like arm wrestle or something? Like toxic masculinity. Like
Bonnie said many people go to mics because they are lonely.
I could see that.
I never liked going to open mics.
It's practice and it's hard. Like it takes a lot to get me out to a mic.
Is it
now? It's where we lived when we first started, and there was the 3 mics that were like 10 minutes from our house, and we could just like
Well, yeah, I used
kind
to
of
live
like dip through them, and even if you just went up and like
James, and it was Oakdale, and then across the street,
Oh, Shakers.
Shakers,
Yeah.
and then
Shakers,
Lizard
Lounge,
Lounge,
and then the
which was
pizza
across
place.
and then the pizza place. So they're literally 3 mics in 3 days a week, and I really was going 3 times a week or 3 times.
Is Shakers still open?
I think so.
They're in a renovation right now. Yeah, I've got
good.
There's a picture of me.
Nika on my.
There's a picture of me at
Facebook
Shakers from like 15 years ago.
That's where dreams are freaking made, dude.
I think so. Like, hey, hi, Taz. Happy weekend. Yeah, like it was Alan Stressfield or whatever his name is. You know him?
No.
He's an old timer. You probably.
No,
I know all the old timers. I know all the like any of the big people on Long Island. They don't really talk to me a lot, but they respect me. They know who I am.
Yeah, you've been around. You've been around for years. It sounds
like. I've been around for years.
Many comics that come and gone.
I always respect Kathy Arnold, because Kathy Arnold's the first person to get me on Governor's stage.
Nice. I know, she's great. I was actually listening. It was her birthday, I think yesterday or today.
Yeah, it was a day or two ago.
I think it might have been yesterday. But anyways, I looked at, I was like, oh, we did Crazy Stories was the one me, her, and Bonnie did.
Yeah.
And I just assumed, I'm like, oh, let me just watch like one part of this. And it just cuts to Kathy talking about, she's like, oh, okay, I'll start with my first crazy story. Off the fucking bat, she's talking about how she had like Play-Doh scissors and she tried to cut her fucking labia off with like Play-Doh scissors, like behind the fucking...
Hey, Kathy's
like,
crazy.
Jesus fucking Christ, Kathy.
Yeah, it's like, wait,
she's like, I didn't like it. I didn't want to have it on there. I could try to saw it off. Like, Jesus Christ, Kathy.
Kathy's crazy. But I love Kathy and I were in a TV show together. It was like it was a Long Island TV show called Making It. And we only had like 6 episodes. I think I'm in like 2 or 3 of them. But like, it was just the weirdest show. It was me, Kathy, Fudge the comedian, and this guy named Jimmy Mack. Not Johnny Mack, but Jimmy Mack. And like, yeah, we would do shows like at Governor's as the Making It crew. And like Evan Weiss would be there on there with us, and
you guys it was like a film, like a documentary, like
no, it was a sitcom with a laugh track that was horrible.
Oh my god!
What was like the premise of it?
The premise was like all of us living in like this apartment, and you
were comics in the show.
We were comics in the show, I guess, and
based on your character.
It was like my character was like my character was an older guy that had a chicken wing delivery place, but I would deliver my own wings. And I would just go there and like try to tell you all the wings that I have at my chicken restaurant in one.
Like bubblegum shrimp.
Like, yeah. I got this. And then, like I said, I even tried to fry Big Bird.
All right.
You know, like
so, what was Evan's character then?
Evan wasn't on the show. He did like he would just be there. Like, if you click your heels 3 times, Evan Weiss will show up to your open mic.
Because I was picturing like Evan as like the neighbor that like is like
if Evan was
a agoraphobic neighbor that like, knocks on the door that you're too loud or something.
So what's happening, guys? Can you bring?
Trying to set up a comedy show.
He was in the hospital, and Esther's like, is there anything I could do for you? He's like, bring to my next show.
Bring 6 people to my next show.
Like,
I knew him before that. Like, before he was that guy.
Yeah.
I knew Evan before that.
Before
he was like, why don't you ever book me on your show? I'm funny. You don't think I'm funny?
He is funny.
And then he'll send me a clip from 1995.
When he has hair and
said, "See, look how good I am."
See,
here.
I can't tell when if he's fucking with me with some
of
that sometimes because he's always fucking with you too.
Yeah.
Well,
he's fucking with himself, but he's also fucking with you. I don't know.
We did a little comedy show here, and I had like bags of chips, and he walks up with like 6 bags of chips, and everyone's like, no, what is he doing? I'm like, because he's not, and then he like starts throwing them to people like, oh,
that's
it's a bag for you. But at first it just looked like he was taking like 6 bags from my house. I'm like, he's not really doing this. And him just like crunching them. He's just it's very simple, very funny though.
Evan was born bringing people.
Oh my god.
No, I knew Evan before he was bringing, before he was trying to get booked on shows. Evan would just hang out at every comedy show until he was like, you know what? I'm going to start producing these shows and then I will always have a spot.
I brought Evan to a comedy show and I was like, I bring Evan Weiss to comedy shows.
Why? So you can poach more people?
No, it's actually to babysit me and Adam Morris.
Oh,
Adam never made it. Adam didn't go. Who's your favorite teacher, or one of your favorite teachers?
One of my favorite teachers?
Yeah.
Oh man. My favorite teacher is Mr. Sullivan in the 4th grade because he let us watch TV during lunchtime. We were those kids that can bring our trays out of the cafeteria to his classroom, and we could watch any TV, any movie or whatever. We're watching Jurassic Park during lunchtime. He was cool. Mr. Zafe in 11th and 12th grade, he was a jerk, but he was cool though. He would always bust my chops, and he really saw potential in me. But he didn't know that in my senior year of high school, I had a lot of stuff going on, more than he knew. But he put me in honors economics and government. And he was my teacher for honors economics and government. And I was failing. I wasn't going to graduate because of this man. And he didn't know that in my senior year of high school, I was in a vocational school program for video and film.
Okay.
And I had an internship after school to work at BT. So I would be in school all day. I would go to tech in the morning. Then I had school. Then I would take the bus to the train station, run to Wyandanch train station at catch the 235, go all the way to Penn Station. Then I would take the E train to 51st and Lex, then take the 6 all the way up to 103, walk up 3 blocks, go make a left to Park, and I would be at 106 in Park. And I did that my whole senior year. So he didn't know that was going on with me.
Yeah.
And I was working, I was meeting rappers at night and going to school in the morning. And I never did homework. So I'm about to fail because I'm hanging out, living my dream at 17 years old. I'd be like, yo, I was hanging out with Diddy last night. What are you talking about? I'm meeting LL Cool J and I'm meeting all these people that were hot at the time. The first person I met there was Shaggy. It
wasn't me.
he was bringing that video. And I was mad because he didn't have that voice. He didn't have the reggae voice. He didn't have that Jamaican accent.
He didn't sound like
he sounded like me. And I was like, wait a minute. my whole life is a lie. Those are the things that I cherish and I remember. And Mr. Zafe is one of those guys that I always remember. I used to have those battles with, but he would always test me to see if I was good. He saw greatness in me. And I'll never forgive him for that. I will criticize him for telling me that Nutty Professor 2 was the worst movie he's ever seen.
Won't forgive him for that.
I won't forgive him for that.
Now, you do your own podcast on Wednesdays. That's why you've never been on the Wildflowers.
Yeah, I do 3 podcasts, actually.
3 podcasts?
Yeah, I do. On Mondays, I have the Murphy Monday podcast. Which is
that's all Eddie Murphy stuff.
That it's actually not all Eddie Murphy stuff.
But it's
I keep trying to tell people. So the reason why it's called the Murphy Monday podcast is because I said, hey, if I'm going to do a podcast, I'm not going to do one that's like everyone else's. And if you're going to do one, it has to be niche. And it has to be something that you can talk intelligently about.
Okay.
So the Murphy Monday podcast is, quote unquote, about Eddie Murphy. But it's more than just that, because every week I have a guest where I talk about their achievements and their goals and their dreams, and I promote their stuff.
Yeah.
And then we transition to Eddie Murphy, but Eddie Murphy is a cultural icon. A lot of people don't understand that he's the guy that actually he's the first guy to do buddy cop movies. Like when we talk about the buddy cop genre, the Lethal Weapons, and we talk about the Rush Hours, 48 Hours is technically the first buddy cop movie.
Okay.
Same thing with Beverly Hills Cop. Beverly Hills Cop is the first action comedy.
Okay.
People don't understand that. So, and for him, Eddie Murphy himself, if you look at the career path, he was 19 years old. He got on SNL. And from that was his only audition. He's never had to audition for anything else.
Damn.
He had so much success in the 90s. And then like people say, oh, well, he's in a slump. He's this. Every time you think he's in a slump, he comes out with a Nutty Professor. Or he comes out with a Shrek. Or Dreamgirls. Or Dolomite Is My Name. So like a 40-year career. And yes, people have peaks and valleys, ups and downs, whatever.
Moments.
Like, but Shrek was a big thing.
Big movie, yeah.
It has 4 sequels. Like
he was Mulan the Dragon.
He was Mulan the Dragon in a time when people were like, "Oh well, Eddie Murphy doesn't have it anymore." He did Mulan. Like that's what I'm saying. And like a lot of the movies, when you go back and you research these movies and you watch these movies, a lot of them aren't as bad as you think they are. Plus, there's a lot of bad movies that have come out over the 40 years that Eddie Murphy's come out. If you put those movies together against his movies, I guarantee you.
Zach is asking, yo, Nigel, have you heard that song where Eddie Murphy sings a song about putting a tree in his butt?
Yes, Boogie in Your Butt. It's on.
Boogie in Your Butt?
It's called Boogie in Your Butt. It's with Step Aside, My Friends. I've been doing this for years. Like it's so basically it's on Eddie Murphy's first album, and he has a song called Boogie in Your Butt. There's 2 songs on there. He has Enough Is Enough when he's singing like buckwheat. And then the other one is Boogie in Your Butt. And he's like, put a tree in your butt. Put a bumblebee in your butt. And then Eddie Murphy goes, hey, man, I don't know about putting no bees in nobody's butt, no trees in nobody's butt. Man, that's crazy. Y'all get paid for this? Man, this is crazy. That's all the song is. Thank you, Zach.
Thank you for that blast from the past.
Heard it today for the first time. Absolute bangers.
Oh, Zach Zorvich. Oh, that's who the Zach you're talking about. I didn't know. Yeah. That's hilarious, Zach.
I haven't seen Zach in so long.
Yeah, since those times when we were going all those mics.
Yes, and then we said Shakers and Zach Dorvich shows up.
Exactly.
The
young Evan Weiss.
Oh my word. All right, so you do the Monday Murphy show.
I do Murphy Monday podcast.
Monday.
I do the Jump Cut on Wednesdays.
Okay.
With my friend Steve May, when we talk about movies, TV, and all around geek culture.
Okay.
So that's bi-weekly now because there's not a lot of movies coming out.
Are you a geek?
I am. Like I am.
Like comic books? Like what's a geek?
I'm not a comic book geek. There's different types of geek.
Like fascination
but
and stories.
It's like a fan.
Right?
I do like superheroes. Don't get me wrong. But like it's people geek out and fan out about different things.
Okay.
So geek is more like when I was in high school, it wasn't cool to be a geek. So I'm not telling anybody I like certain things, like I'm not gonna tell people, hey, I'm listening to Sublime. I can't tell anybody that.
Why?
Because it wasn't cool for me to listen to Sublime.
I love Sublime.
I love Sublime now too. But everybody is a geek in their own right. Everybody has that one thing that like really excites them.
Okay.
Like for me, when I came into your house, I know that people there in Facebook, there is a dummy right behind them. And it looks kind of weird. It looks super freaking weird, man. Like, if you don't even address it, it's just standing. It's probably dancing and singing behind you with a top hat and just like, that's Annabelle behind you.
Everyone's concerned about the mannequin.
Because you know why?
No, I think he's saying.
I'm talking about
Pee-wee.
So here's the thing, right? And I had a friend, this is a tangent, and I'll get back to get back to it. But I had a friend named Naruto. He used to call himself Care Bear of comedy.
Okay.
And he used to bring a bear on stage. Like that's what he used to do. Like he would tell jokes, and there would be a bear in a chair sitting there. His whole set.
Yeah.
The bear would do nothing. The bear would just be on there with them.
No prop, nothing.
And he
just go on the stool.
And I would be like, yo, I don't know why you got the bear is upstaging you. Like, why do you have this bear? So
that you don't make mention of.
The reason why he doesn't have the bear anymore is because Patrice O'Neal killed him for having a bear on stage. He was like, either make it talk or get the fuck off the stage. I don't understand why you have a bear on stage. A prop. What are you, a black carrot top? Like, he just went into my friend. And I never wanted, that's one person I never wanted to be around when I was in stand-up comedy was Patrice. Because everybody would say, you look like Patrice. I'm like, nope, don't say that. Don't let him know that you don't know.
Because then he's going to judge me.
Because then he's going to come after me. I don't want that smoke. He made Lisa Lampanelli cry. She's the queen of mean. Anywho, back to what I was saying about dummies and stuff like that. So, like, when you had Pee Wee Herman there, I'm a big Pee Wee Herman fan, but I can't tell anybody that I'm a big Pee Wee Herman. That is the geekness of it. Like, that's the one thing that,
that's
like that guilty
when it's personal, but you're not gonna just start talking about it.
Yeah, it's Pee Wee Herman here.
It's like a guilty pleasure
like that.
Yeah, everybody has one. Everybody's a geek in their own right. It's cool to be geek now, but 10 years ago, 20 years ago, it wasn't cool.
So you guys go down different roads of fandom. Then.
Yeah, we basically base it on TV and movies.
Okay.
We don't do comic books because I don't read comic books.
Yeah.
But we get excited about when the Fast and Furious movies are coming out, or if there's a superhero movie. But we also critique movies per se, how we like them, because I have I went to school for television and film. He has a film degree also. Like, we just basically talk about the stuff that we know about movies. And we critique. Everybody has a critique about a movie.
What's your, like, classic film?
My classic film?
Yeah, like something, like, old.
All the films I like are old.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like any new movies.
Okay.
So
hit me. So something in English.
Oh, okay.
And then you can give me a foreign something.
Something British. Let me see. Well, here's the thing. I'm different when it comes to movies because I've grown to a point where I say, I don't care what anybody says is a classic anymore. This is a classic to me.
Right.
I don't care.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah. So, like, for me, it used to be, I used to tell people Do the Right Thing was my favorite movie.
Okay.
That is a lie. That is a lie.
Yeah,
you know what my favorite movie is?
What's that?
House Party with Kid and Play.
All right.
And that is my favorite movie. Because no matter what I'm doing, what's going on, if it's on TV, I'm watching it and I'm not moving. I'm not going to turn the channel. I'm going to sit there. I'm going to watch them battle each other. You gotta understand, like, the history of that movie. It went to Sundance. It went to Sundance. House Party went to Sundance. Can we, like, Friday didn't go to Sundance.
Yeah.
Like all these other movies that, like, came after or whatever, they didn't go to Sundance. This was like one of the first movies like about rap that went to Sundance, and it's just crazy. And I love the story of it. I love the fact that it's kind of like the hip hop version of Risky Business, or whatever you want to equate it to. But
yeah.
I love the movie House Party.
But it kind of broke, but what you just said is it kind of broke its own genre out. Where now it's like all of a sudden there's a whole new market of movies. Like new style.
It wasn't the first movie with rappers. Like there were terrible ones before that.
But that's one of those things. Is the first person that does something isn't usually respected as much for it. It's like the third or fourth rendition of something that people are like, all right, I like that.
Like people forget Ice-T was in the movie Breaking. He was in Breaking 1 and Breaking 2 in a movie that's horrible called Rapping.
I don't think I've seen any of those.
I don't know any of those.
So, all right. This is for the people at home and for you guys. I want you to do your research. There is a documentary called Electric Boogaloo. It's about the theater, the movie group Canon Films. Okay, Canon Films for 2 decades made bad movies over and over and over and over again. If you ever watched a Chuck Norris movie, that was them.
Okay.
If you ever watched the movie Cobra,
but they made like kung fu and stuff too.
They made a whole bunch of movies, but for every bad movie, they had like 1 or 2 good ones or 1 or 2 decent ones. Yeah. So like what they would do, like if you came out with Lord of the Rings, like they would come out with Lord of the Bracelets. Like that's how bad they were.
Yeah.
But they would like they're responsible for making Dolph Lundgren a household name. They're responsible for Ninja, Michael Dudikoff, and those American Ninja movies. They made Breaking 1 and Breaking 2 in the same year.
Wow.
They made Superman 4.
Okay.
They made Masters of the Universe, the He-Man movie. Like, they made so many bad movies over and over and over again, but still had big actors to do these movies.
When I watch like a production now, I'm like, the amount of money that went into it, the amount of time that went into this. Like, whenever I see like a decent production as like a joke that's not funny, I'm like, the amount of people and time that went into this. Like, I have
full
so
day
much
just went into that
respect
terrible
for
drug.
productions now, and I'm like, wow, like a lot of time and effort into this
A lot
garbage.
of time and effort goes into the bad movies. So if you think about a movie like Wonder Woman 1984, a lot of time and effort went into that movie, and it was probably cut, and it was probably the production studio. And that's what I talk about with the Murphy Monday podcast, because like there's some movies that aren't as bad as you think they are. It's just because it was edited a certain way.
Right.
Or a lot of stuff was taken out.
Yeah.
Or
they gave it a Hollywood ending or something that the director really didn't want.
Where can you find the podcast that you're on?
Which one?
Well, the Murphy
Monday is on Spotify. It's on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you get podcasts from.
What about the Jump Cut?
Jump Cut is on Facebook.
And now what is the third one?
The third one that I do is with my good friend Mark Mendoza from Twisted Sister.
Okay.
It has not come out yet.
Okay.
But we have been recording episodes every other Friday night.
Oh, that'll be fun. So when it comes out, there'll be a load of episodes to go through?
Yes.
That's cool.
So it's men giving them different views. It's called Twisted Men. I think I could talk about it.
It's just you two on there?
No, it's me, a couple other people that you don't know.
Okay.
But
it's the same panel every time?
Same panel every time,
Okay.
but just people with different perspectives.
Cool.
Men with different perspectives, you know.
And are you guys talking serious stuff?
Does it
Are
get,
you
like,
talking
political?
funny stuff?
It doesn't get political. I'm talking funny stuff every single time.
Okay, cool.
I'm like, why is my girlfriend texting me about beds
now
at 3 a.m. in the morning? Or
when I'm
towels.
sleeping next to her.
Or towels. Why are we talking about towels at 2 o'clock?
The towels.
That's I say that all the time.
I don't need to be privy to the towel fucking purchase.
Like she sends me pictures of furniture like they're dick pics. Like I'm like, she's like, ooh.
Furniture's expensive. I would want to see a picture first.
No, I want to show her my penis.
Oh my lord. Any shameless plugs you want to do before we get out of here?
At Nigel Fullerton _ on Twitter and Instagram. You can go to www.murphymondaypod.com to listen to all the episodes of the Murphy Monday podcast. I also have an episode with Mark Mendoza giving me all the tea about Twisted Sister on my podcast, which is not just about Eddie Murphy. He's giving all the tea. He even talks about a time that Dee Snider was arrested. Like
now, can you tell me just real quick, the tea is like the juice or the gossip. Why is it the tea?
Because people sip tea
and gossip. Sip the tea.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I've been hearing this and I'm always out of the fucking loop. I always hear it and not know like I could, like, obviously I conjured what it was, but
you got it.
Now you sip the tea. Okay. All right. So what else? Any other shameless plugs? Where can we find you next?
I'm performing at they're changing the venue. But May 14th, Friday, May 14th, I will be headlining at Open Stage Works in Hop Hog. I'm assuming that the venue's still happening. Mm-hmm. But if it is, guys, please get tickets. The link is on my Facebook page. I'll be promoting that after I leave the show. I'll be putting it on my Facebook page again to let everybody know. I'm doing some new jokes. I'm doing some more conversational stuff. You're going to see some real... If you liked any of the stuff that I talked about today, that's probably what's going to be happening. Robin DeVito said, great show. I love you, Robin. And please never wear socks. I want you to be like the Flintstones. But yeah, I'm performing there. I'm in Pennsylvania on May 22nd, and then I'm in Chicago on May 29th.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm getting around.
Nice. Got some dates.
Yeah.
So I will reshare.
And I'm vaccinated.
And he's fully vaccinated, guys and girls. Thank you, David Schling, just saying fun show. Did not know Nigel before, but he seems like an awesome guy. Wishing you all a great weekend. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, Colonel.
Thank you.
Robin, you guys are all wonderful. Thank you, Nigel, for your time. Thank you, Glen.
Yes. Have a great night.
Have a good
Thank you, everybody.
Get home safe. Bye.